All right, well, the ongoing wars in the Middle East and Ukraine are prompting President Biden to make an unprecedented request for aid. He is now asking Congress for $106 billion in emergency funding. $61 billion would go to Ukraine, $14 billion to Israel, another $14 billion for border security. You can see on down the line there where the remainder goes. It raises the question now, Bob, are we looking at President Biden, who had staked his campaign going forward on Bidenomics, and we know the polling isn't good there.
No.
Terrible, I think would be a fair way to put it.
Yep.
Is he now a wartime president, and does that change the dynamic going forward?
Possibly. I mean, it depends on where it goes from here. Now, and it's very important that what he's asked for and the breakdown that you just showed, but Congress is not going to give him $106 billion. I tell you that right now. A lot of Republicans saying that request is dead on arrival. But is he a wartime president? Listen, Biden was in support of the Iraq War as the top Democrat on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He's a hawk, and we're seeing it right now.
He was you mentioned the Iraq War. There was also the criticisms of course, of the withdrawal from Afghanistan. He made the argument against SEAL Team 6 going in when he was advising President Obama. You look at the polling here, Laura. The president's handling of the Israel-Hamas war, independence. Let's focus on that middle column. 61% right now, Laura, are saying the commander-in-chief's not doing a good job.
Well, I think that that's something to contend with, but certainly not something to drive decision making. I think that clearly the commander-in-chief role is one that has to be independent of polls. This is a really fragile situation and a tinderbox in the Middle East. And as he works to secure diplomacy with Arab nations that surround Israel, with countries that are our traditional allies, and really navigate these forces and seek for the U.S. and our leverage and our strength to be a force for good, those poll numbers have to be set aside while he's doing the job of our country and the American people.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I've got to disagree with that, okay? When you look at independence right now, in pretty much any poll, Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden when it comes to foreign policy. And why? Because you didn't have these wars under Donald Trump. The world was not a tinderbox. And I think that a lot of people don't understand why the world is so unstable. And Republicans would argue that essentially it's Joe Biden's policies. And therefore, this idea that the guy whose policies led to the world being on fire is somehow, and stumbles up the stairs to Air Force One, is somehow going to be the person that actually saves the day. I promise you, independents are far more concerned about inflation and his ability and agility to serve.
Laura, are you comfortable with him being a wartime president?
Certainly. And I think that I don't want to underestimate the voters and say that they're not sophisticated enough to understand what a challenging situation that our world is in and how disunity is contributing to that. And, obviously the economy and it'll be a multifaceted campaign full of issues as broad as reproductive rights, all the way to inflation, to the challenges that we see internationally. But I give credit to the voters. Voters are sophisticated. They take information as it comes and they process their opinions over time. I think that Biden is a wartime president, whether he likes it or not. It begs the Thomas Paine quote, "The times have found us." The times have found President Biden, and he's now able to lead the country, leveraging his experience and his empathy. And
I want to show
world fragile.
I want to show the breakdown of the money again, because when I saw the figures this morning, $61 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel, $14 billion for border security. I wondered, did there need to be a war in the Middle East to break out for border security to be linked to it? Like, this has been a huge problem, and now the president's addressing it? I know why. He's got to link all this stuff together because that's what Washington does and what Washington does best. But when you look at the figures there, there's going to be some trouble here in Washington, is there not, with that?
Well, you referenced the folks in the Republicans who say that it's dead on arrival. They don't have a Speaker of the House, right? This is as the man said in the movie, that's mighty big talk for a one-eyed fat man. I don't see it, and what I do see is that you put Ukraine and Israel together because you want to force the Republicans on Ukraine and you want to force the Democrats on Israel. You throw in the sweetener on border security so that Republican members can go back to their districts and say, this also included $14 billion for border security. You're throwing all of this stuff in, and it's not like they're going to start to decide that deficits matter today. I don't know that he'll get all of that through, but he's going to get a lot of it through.
He's going to have a big-time problem. Look, if you ask the Republicans on the Israeli funding, that's going to go through 100% on the Republican side. Obviously, only 40% of Republicans are going to vote for the Ukrainian funding. Here's the issue: was the $10 billion he asked for in humanitarian funding, and if that goes to Gaza, that's going to be a no-go for Republicans, because when you fund Gaza, you're funding Hamas. They're inseparable, and political Islam is what is driving this crisis. And frankly, when it comes to the border, Blake, I got to disagree with you, because it all depends on how they push it out. If he's talking about resettling Palestinian refugees in America, given what he's done at the border, or resettling refugees from other parts of the world and just processing people and not putting up barriers, that's not going to work either. Democrats have been lying about the word border security for almost a decade now.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.